The elevator doors closed, but the war was just beginning. Julian and Val DeLuca were no longer just siblings. They were two predators hunting the same prize, Elena Vance. Elena didn't go back to her apartment. She knew Julian's men were already there, hiding in the shadows of her hallway. Instead, she drove to a hidden archive in the basement of an old library. This was where the ghost ledgers were kept, the secret books that showed the real truth about the DeLuca family. For 5 hours, Elena sat in the dark. Her yellow hair was messy, and her glasses were sliding down her nose. She wasn't looking for missing money anymore. She was looking for a weapon. Then she found it. The $50 million wasn't missing. It was a list of names. Every dirty cop, every judge, and every politician the DeLuca family owned. Julian didn't want the cash. He wanted those names. With that list, he could kill his father and rule the city. Creak. The heavy metal door at the top of the stairs opened. Elena froze. She blew out her candle and hid under a heavy wooden desk. "I can smell your fear, Elena," a voice hissed. It was Julian. He walked slowly, his expensive shoes clicking on the stone floor. He looked wild. His eyes were full of a dark, hungry light. He stopped at the desk and flipped it over with one hand. Elena scrambled back, clutching the ledger to her chest. "You are so smart, Elena," Julian said, leaning over her. "I wanted you to be mine. I wanted us to rule this city together. But I see the way you look at my sister, and I see the way she protects you." He grabbed Elena by the throat, not enough to kill her, but enough to make her gasp. "If I can't have your heart, then no one will have your breath. If you won't be my queen, then you will be a ghost." "Let her go, Julian." Val stepped out from the shadows. She looked lethal in her black suit, holding a silver handgun. Her eyes were like ice. "She's an employee, Julian, not your toy," Val growled. "She's a witness now," Julian screamed, pulling Elena up and holding her in front of him like a shield. "She saw the names. If I can't have her loyalty and I can't have this book, then I'll take her life." Julian pulled a small, sharp knife from his pocket and pressed it against Elena's neck. "Drop the gun, Val, or the accountant dies right now." Val's hand shook. For the first time, the silent queen looked terrified. She slowly lowered her gun. "That's better," Julian smirked. But he was greedy. He reached for the ledger with his other hand. "Give me the book, Elena, now." Elena looked at Val. She saw the pain in her eyes. Elena didn't feel like a lamb anymore. She felt like a wolf. She slammed her elbow into Julian's ribs and bit his hand hard. Julian roared in pain and dropped the knife. Val moved like lightning. She tackled Julian, and the two siblings crashed into the tall bookshelves. Books flew everywhere. It was a brutal, ugly fight. They weren't brother and sister anymore. They were enemies. Val threw a heavy punch that sent Julian crashing into a stone pillar. While he was stunned, Val grabbed Elena's hand. "Run!" Val commanded. They sprinted up the stairs and out into the night. They didn't stop until they reached a lonely private beach. The black water of the ocean was the only thing moving. Val stopped and leaned against a tree, breathing hard. Her suit was torn, and she was bleeding from a cut on her lip. Aeinm stood in front of her, still holding the ledger. "You saved me," Aeinm whispered. Val looked at her, her eyes soft and full of raw emotion. "I told you, no one touches you." Val stepped closer, her tall presence filling Aeinm's world. The air between them was hot. Val reached out and touched Aeinm's face, her thumb brushing Aeinm's lip. Aeinm didn't pull away. She leaned in and kissed Val. It was a desperate, fierce kiss. It tasted like salt and adrenaline. It was a kiss that broke all the family rules. Val pulled her closer, her arms like a shield around Aeinm. "Julian won't stop," Val whispered against her hair. "He wants you dead because he knows I love you. The war is officially here." Aeinm looked at the ledger. "Then let's finish it." Aeinm and Val stood on the sand, the kiss still burning on their lips. The world was quiet, but the danger was louder than ever. "We can't stay here," Val said, her voice returning to its cold, protective rasp. She wiped blood from her lip and looked at the road. "Julian is like a snake. When he loses, he hides, and then he strikes when you are sleeping." Aeinm looked down at the ghost ledger in her arms. "I have his secrets, Val, but secrets don't stop bullets. We need a plan." Val grabbed Aeinm's hand and pulled her toward the motorcycle. "I know a place. It belongs to an old friend. Julian doesn't know it exists." They rode for an hour deep into the countryside until they reached a small hidden cabin surrounded by thick trees. Inside it was warm and smelled of cedar wood. Aeinm dropped the heavy book on the table and let out a long breath. She looked at Val, who was taking off her torn suit jacket. Even with cuts on her face, Val looked like a queen. "You're staring again," Val said, a tiny, rare smile playing on her lips. Aeinm blushed, her yellow hair falling over her eyes. "I'm an accountant, Val. My life used to be about tax returns and coffee. Now I'm kissing mafia bosses in the moonlight. It's a lot to take in." Val walked over, standing so close that Aeinm could feel the heat from her body. She reached out and gently straightened Aeinm's silver-rimmed glasses. "You're not just an accountant anymore," Val whispered. "You are the woman who bit a DeLuca. That makes you a legend." Aeinm laughed, the sound breaking the tension. "I think I broke a tooth. Julian tastes like expensive cologne and bad choices." Val laughed too, a real deep laugh that Aeinm had never heard before. For a moment, the drama was gone. They were just two people in a cabin. Val reached for a first aid kit and set Aeinm down on the counter. "Hold still," Val commanded, her hands surprisingly gentle as she cleaned a scratch on Aeinm's forehead. "Is this the part where the tough bodyguard falls for the girl?" Aeinm asked playfully, trying to hide how fast her heart was beating. Val stopped. She looked into Aeinm's eyes, her expression becoming serious and intense. "The bodyguard already fell, Aeinm, a long time ago." She leaned in, and this time the kiss wasn't desperate or full of adrenaline. It was slow, soft, and sweet. It felt like a promise. Aeinm wrapped her arms around Val's neck, pulling her closer, forgetting about the ledgers and the killers for just 1 minute. Suddenly, Elena's phone buzzed on the table. Both women froze. Elena picked it up. It was a video message from an unknown number. She pressed play. The screen showed Julian. He was sitting in a dark room, cleaning the blood off his face with a white cloth. He looked into the camera and smiled, a cold, terrifying smile. "I hope you're comfortable, ladies. Enjoy the romance while it lasts. But Val, you forgot one thing. The ledger you're holding, it has a GPS tracker in the spine. I don't need to find you. I just have to wait for my men to arrive." Julian winked at the camera. "See you soon, little lamb." The video ended. Outside, the sound of car tires crushing gravel echoed through the trees. "He's here," Val hissed, grabbing her gun from the table. She looked at Elena, her eyes full of fire. "Get the book. Get in the back room. Don't come out until I tell you." "No," Elena said, standing tall. "I'm tired of hiding under desks, Val. You told me I'm a legend now. Let's show him what happens when an accountant gets angry." Elena grabbed a heavy glass bottle from the counter and stood next to Val. Val looked at the bottle, then at Elena's determined face, and smirked. "Fine," Val said, checking her bullets, "but try not to break another tooth." The front door kicked open. The war was no longer in the city. The war was in the house. "The cabin is surrounded. Julian is here, and he's out for blood. But Elena is done hiding. With Val by her side, the little lamb is ready to bite back. Can they survive the night? Subscribe now and hit the bell. Watch episode 4. You don't want to miss the drama. I'll see you in the crossfire.